Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We are here and we are live for our first live stream on the Quinny FC channel. So thanks to everyone that's tuning in for this one live. If you're catching us after we've been live, fist pumps to yourself. Get into the comment section, get into the live chat, and participate in the predictions that we're going to do. I did this last year, and we've got a system, we've got a website we can use where we can actually predict the result of every Champions League game. And then when we finish that, we can get ourselves to have a very accurate prediction of how we see the table unfolding. Because as all you football fans will know from last year, the format has changed dramatically. We don't have little groups of four anymore, play everyone twice home and away and all that caper. We now have the UEFA Super League for all intents and purposes. And it says random 8 games. You don't play the same team twice, 4 at home, 4 away, and the length and breadth of Europe. And even when you look at the Kazakhstani team that has made it here of the world, with Qarabag in there coming in from Azerbaijan as well, are involved and are getting stuck in. Yeah, so love to see it. It's going to be a big Champions League, and sadly the hoops aren't in it. I had another shirt on today, but I got a pen on it, so I had to change before coming on. But there's going to be some stories written in this Champions League. You can just feel it already. We've got a lot of strong teams coming out of the English Premier League in the competition this year. We've got 3 French teams in this year. The Italians are there as per usual, as well as some of the heavy hitters, your Bayern Munich, your Barcelonas, etc. We've also got some of those historic teams, and again, like Ajax's and Benfica, Bodo Glimt making their Champions League debut. There's lots of stuff going on here. Turkish giants Galatasaray, Olympiacos in the building, even Slavia Prague, USG making their Champions League debut, and Villarreal. It's been a while. Europa League boys back in the Champions League. So yeah, love to see it. And that's the hard thing about doing predictions or trying to forecast the Champions League, is like everyone's fixture list is so different. It's so hard to lift them and lay them against each other and try and imagine who is actually going to come out on top. Now tonight we actually have match day 1. And what they did last year for match day 1 is the same as what they're doing this year. It's only Champions League, no Europa League, no Conference League, nothing like that. And it's going to go Tuesday to Thursday. So we've got all of these games to enjoy over the next couple of days. And thanks to our friends here at Sorare Inside, we have got predicted 11s for all of them. So we could have a really good shot at accurately predicting what the scoreline is going to be in all these matches, because we've got some headline ones. Bayern Munich versus Chelsea, for example. We can see what we expect the teams to look like, who is fit and available. We can reference the games already played this season, who's in form, who's firing, who's a misfit, all that kind of stuff. So we might do that a little bit for the first match day, but for the most part, we're going to be getting stuck right into the deep end of the tournament itself and trying to see the likes of Liverpool, City, all these big hitters. How smooth sailing do they have it? How many points are they likely to get? How many points are they likely to need, as well as anything else that might go on in that way? So we've got tons of stuff to get stuck into. If you are joining us live and loud, get into the comment section, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you're new around here as well, of course. And if you're watching this after we've been live, feel free to do all of that. But get into the comment section and let me know what your predictions are, even for match day 1 or for the group stage as a whole, because there is so much going on. I fancy Arsenal in the first match day, going away to Athletic Club. There's a little bit of the Basque derby here with some former Sociedad lads and all the rest of it. So I think it's going to be a memorable match day 1. Juve versus Dortmund is a Champions League final of 1996. There's some strong teams and contenders in there. PSG, Atalanta. Was this the Super Cup? No. Yeah, was this the Super Cup when Atalanta won Europa? I don't think so. But anyway, it seems to strike one for me. We've also got Newcastle, St James's Park, back in the Champions League after a wee year out there. Nick Walter Messi up front, really strong midfielder, taking on Barcelona, who look to be starting Marcus Rashford in the team. So yeah, it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be headlines. Tottenham, Villarreal for the Premier League fans in the building. I think this has got a strong potential to be like a banana skin type game, where Tottenham maybe don't actually get the win. Villarreal, no mugs, no pushovers. So yeah, a lot of stuff to get stuck into for the tournament as a whole. Some really interesting transfers around Europe over the summer, and some really strong runners and riders and teams. Now, this is the system I'm going to be running with for this, and it's on the website, in case you want to play along yourself, is worldfootball.net. And then if you do, you can see the tabs that you get to here. for the table calculator. So feel free to play along at home if you want to do so yourself. And yeah, if you are here, smash the like button. It just goes a long way to supporting the channel. Maybe we find a few more football fans that will come and hang out with us and do some of the score predictions. So I think this is the long and short of match day 1. It might spill on to the second page that we've got here. And you'll see as we start to fill these in how it's going to pan out. And it gets really tough. It gets really tough. I'm on the wrong mic. Thanks very much, Charlie. We've had a bit of a gremlin. I was listening to the Penfez earlier on, and he had something similar, but it was related to whenever he did, I think, voice chat with ChatGPT or something.
That should be better now. I don't do that myself, but there's definitely been gremlins in the system for the microphone. So thanks for the catch there, Charlie boy. Now, the first match we've got up here is the early kickoff tonight. Athletic Club hosting Arsenal. Now, I personally, if we have a look at the predicted teams once more, Arsenal, Athletic Club. Now, Athletic Club have got like a decent defence. Unai Simon, Spain #1 goalkeeper. And if you are an Arsenal fan, if you watch this game, Jurgen is a name to watch out for. Oyan Sanchez is a name to watch out for. Obviously, but all eyes on anyone called Williams. Berenguer can be okay. But this team, like Athletic Club, did great to qualify for the Champions League. But this is not a Champions League level squad. Very good squad, high level La Liga, don't get me wrong. But I feel that Arsenal, especially after their win against Forest at the weekend and the way that they're going, I just feel that they're going to win this one. I can see Arsenal taking this 2-0. That's how I kind of see it and feel it. PSV taking on USG is an interesting one because PSV actually pushed the boat out a little bit in this transfer window. Where is PSV? There they are there. So, yeah, Perisic, Ruben van Bommel, Gasarowski, Serginho Dest, Kovar, their new goalkeeper, in the building. USG, again, not a bad side themselves, it must be said. So this is a bit of a clash of the would-be's, isn't it? I think PSG are good. PSV are good for 2 goals. I think I would give USG the 1, so I would give that as a 2-1 win. Real Madrid, Marseille. Now, this is the Zidane derby, isn't it? Wonder who Zidane is supporting tonight. Now, I've seen on my timeline this morning that Marseille, I don't think I've ever beat Real Madrid in European competition. Mastantuono is going to play, Valverde and Tchouameni, Güler in support of Vinny and Mbappe. It feels like it's going to be too much for most defences. But Big Ben Pavard is in the building. Højbjerg, Kondogbia. It's a strong Marseille team. I just don't, if Marseille didn't score in this game, it wouldn't shock me. The defence is solid at the Bernabeu as well. But again, Marseille, they should score. But if they didn't, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to say Real Madrid are good for 3 goals in this one. And Marseille, I'm going to go 0. I don't think Marseille score. Juve versus Dortmund. Now, the Champions League final replay from like 30 years ago or whatever. Nice front line. Lloyd Kelly in defence. De Gregorio in goals. Yeah, this Juve team is very meh, isn't it? The Dortmund team isn't much better, but I think it is better. I think the defence is nicer. I think the midfield is stronger. And the attack line, like Guirassy is the best striker on the pitch probably, isn't he? I like Joe David. I like Openda. Yildiz I like as well. But that's actually a really tough one. I think with it being an Italian team at home and a German team, I would maybe go 1-1. I wouldn't mind a 0-0 there, but to be honest with you, Benfica taking on Qarabag. I'm going to go for 4-0 Benfica. Tottenham at home to Villarreal. If we have a wee peek at that. How's that? How do those teams look again? We have Tottenham going quite full strength. Now, the thing with this, right, is I just don't see Thomas Frank. I just don't see Tottenham under Thomas Frank being Champions League caliber, as being savvy enough at this level. And Villarreal, Marcelino, the manager, I think, some of the players that they've got here, ex-Arsenal, Pepe and Thomas Partey, ex-Tottenham and Juan Foyth. They've got some really good players besides, I think they, like I said before, if there was a wee banana skin here, it wouldn't shock me. I do think Tottenham score. I think they score more than 1. Yeah, I think they probably do. I'm going to go for 2-1, but again, I'm not ruling out a shock result here. Slavia Prague at home at Bodo. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Olympiacos at home at Paphos. I'll go with 3-0. Bayern Munich, Chelsea. Now, let's have a wee peek at this again because the teams are formidable for both. I think home advantage, again, a former Champions League final. I think home advantage. does a lot here for Bayern Munich. Olise, Goretzka, Kimmich, what an engine room. This is going to be a really tight contest. I think Chelsea's defence and goalkeeper is really going to be the thing that lets them down in this tournament. I know they did great in the Conference League last year, but give me a break. Everything else is, I think, Champions League quality. It's just the defence and the goalkeeper. I just think against Kane, with Nico Jackson coming off the bench, Luis Diaz on the wings, I think Bayern do a number on them here. And I do mean a number. I'm going to go for Bayern to score 5. And I think we'll give Chelsea a goal or two. Let's go with 1. I'm going to go with Bayern to win 5-1. We've got Ajax against Inter. That's quite a historic game, 2 European giants. Ajax, I've got Weghorst. I've got some fun players coming up, but the defence is okay as well. But I think overall, Bony's in over Martinez. I think Inter, I know they've not been great under Kivu. I'm going to go for Ajax to win that 1-0. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling Ajax takes some points there. Liverpool against Atleti is an interesting one. Again, Atletico Madrid, I was looking into this before coming on. They've got a decent record against Anfield. They've knocked out Liverpool before in away goals, and I don't think Simeone and co will be scared about this game. Nico Gonzalez and Griezmann expected to be the front line. Not a vintage Atletico Madrid team, really, is it? All Black, the hero in goals. But Liverpool have got that kind of Arsenal mode that we mentioned earlier, where they're just kicking ass right now. They are just going for it. So I can see Liverpool really just smashing the place open, but you can never rule out Atleti just stinking the place out, really, can you? I think Liverpool scored 2 goals. I think Atletico score 1. Yeah, I'll go with 2-1 there. PSG against Atalanta. Now, Atalanta's current manager is Stefano Pioli, who is not Gasperini. So it's a different manager, although the same shape. Last year, they had Ademola Lookman and Retegui, but this year they've got Kristovic and Sulemana. Huge downgrades, but PSG have got an injury crisis coming into this game. Otherwise, they're rather full strength. I think there's goals in this one. I think PSG are going to score 3, and Atalanta, I can see them scoring 0. To be honest with you, I think they're the PSG defense and goalkeeper is upgraded on last year. They're the current holders. Atalanta are weaker. I don't see it really changing. Now we have Copenhagen against Bayer Leverkusen. And this is a game where the Leverkusen manager has just changed. He's just came from Brøndby, I think it is, maybe Midtjylland or something. So he'll know Copenhagen very, very well. Copenhagen have got some players that are handy. Of course, Jordan, son of the King Larson, Chips, Cheese and Pussy, El Yunusi, Tom Delaney, Moukoko, and 1 or 2 others that, whatever. And the Leverkusen team, without Wirtz and Frimpong and 1 or 2 others, very different to last year. It should be too good. Andrik and Grimaldo, these types of characters, Lucas Vazquez, should be too much for Copenhagen, but I don't think they're all that. I think Copenhagen could score 2 goals here. I think the crowd will be right up for it. I think they've got the weapons to do it. I'm going to go with 2-2. Then we've got Bruges taking on Monaco. Now, Brugge, if we can look at this here, I've got a very nice front three. Very nice front three, very nice midfield three, lovely balance, defence is strong, Mignolet in goals. And for Monaco, it's kind of the same. Nice attackers, really strong midfield, robust defence, and then Philip Cohn in goals. So this is a game where I think if there's chances, there's goals, but I'm going to put this down as a 0-0. Maybe a 0-0 is a bit much. I'm going to go for 1-1. Newcastle against Barcelona. Where's Newcastle Barca again? There it's there. Now, I fancy the Geordies quite capable of getting some Champions League magic under the floodlights, especially with Rashford potentially starting, and a lot of this, like Gerard Martin, a lot of the Barca team has been injured and rotated and stuff already this year. So although they're going well, they're not fully fit and firing. Newcastle, on the other hand, I think are in a really good place, and St James's Park under the floodlights is going to be a good one. I'm going to say Newcastle are going to score 3 in this, and I think Barca are going to score 1 or 2. I'm going to go with 2. Man City, Napoli. The return of Kevin De Bruyne. You just knew it was going to happen, didn't you? But yeah, Man City team, Foden, Doku, Haaland feels like they have gelled in. Defence, Guardiola's back. Midfield is boss. And the Napoli team's cool, right? But I can see Højlund doing nothing in this game. I can see De Bruyne or McTominay maybe not quite being Serie A versions of themselves, The defence is cool. The goalkeeper's great. I think City are going to win this. I just don't know how many goals they're going to score. It's quite a tough one. We'll go with 2-0. It is Champions League, so maybe taper it down a wee bit. And then we have Frankfurt against Galatasaray. Do I care too much about this one for predicted teams? Yeah, sure. Let's have a peek. I'm going to go with Galatasaray 2-1, I think. And then we have Sporting. I'm just going to put them down for 4 goals against Kairat's 0. Excellent. Now, I think this must be the next match day. So as you can see, the table's populated already from those first predictions that we've done. So after this week, this is kind of how I expect it to look, for what that's worth. Chelsea bottom 3. So yeah, interesting. And we'll be able to see that as it goes. Now, Real Madrid away to Kairat. Kairat are not scoring. I'm going to say Real Madrid get 3. Atalanta at home to Bruges. I can see Atalanta scoring a goal or 2. Did Bruges play Atalanta last year? I think they might have done, by the way. I think they might have. I think Atalanta, it's just a Mignolet thing, isn't it? I think Atalanta are good for a goal. I'm going to go with Bruges to upset that one and get a win away from home. Paphos 0. Bayern Munich, I'm going to put 8 on that one. I just think Bayern Munich are the one team in Europe that will just bully somebody and just absolutely rip some arms off and just decapitate people. Chelsea Benfica, the return of Enzo. I think Chelsea are. I'm going to go with 2-1. I think that'll be a tight affair. Inter at home at Slavia. Let's go with a wee 1-0 to the Italians. Galatasaray, Victor Osimhen, Leroy Sané and co hosting Liverpool. Istanbul, you all know what that means for Liverpool, don't you? Ooh, I'm going to go with Liverpool to win that 2-1. Atletico Madrid at home to Frankfurt. I'll go with a 1-0 win. Marseille, Ajax. I'm going to go 3-2. I think Marseille can be quite attacking in that sort of setting. Bodo at home to Tottenham. 2-1 to Bodo. Let's have it. Qarabag and Azerbaijan are going to score a 1-1 draw, I think, with Copenhagen. USG. I'm going to say they score against the Geordies, but I think they'll get 2. Dortmund hosting Athletic Club. I could see that being 1-0 to Dortmund. Barca PSG. What a big game so early in the competition. That'll be the next match day, which will be after we get Europa League and everything up and going the 1st of October. Assuming Yamal's back. They're just going to punch each other in the face, aren't they? I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw. Monaco. Yeah, we liked everything about Monaco except the goalkeeper, didn't we? Against Man City. I don't think they score. Man City will win it 2-0. Leverkusen, PSV. I'm going to give PSV a win there. Arsenal 3-0 on Olympiacos. Villarreal 1-1 with Juventus. Napoli, Sporting Lisbon at the Diego Maradona Stadium. Let's go with a 2-0 win to Napoli. Yeah, that feels appropriate. We then get to the next match day. Barca are taking on Olympiacos. I think that's a 3-0 Barca effort, isn't it? Kairat versus Paphos. Oh, 1-1, I'll give that. I think Kairat might win because they're at home. Yeah, okay, let's give them a win. USG Inter. I think USG could take a surprise victory there. I'm going to go 2-0. Copenhagen Dortmund. I say Dortmund win that 2-1. I think Leverkusen at home could score against PSG, but I think PSG could rip them apart. I've put 3. I want to put 4, but I don't know who will all be available for the match at that point. Villarreal at home to City. I'm going to go for Man City win that 1 or 2-0. Arsenal Atleti. I think I would give that 2-1 to Arsenal. Newcastle Benfica. I'd probably go 2-1 to that as well. PSV. Yeah, I think I could give that as a wee 1-0 Napoli away win. Antonio Conte special. Galatasaray at home to Bodo. I think we'll go 2-1 to the Turks. Athletic Club at home to Qarabag. We'll go with a wee 2-0 there. Bayern at home to Bruges. I think we'll go with a 4-2. I think Bruges will fight, but Bayern will get the win. Chelsea Ajax. Maybe a wee 3-1. Real Madrid, Juve. I think I'll just go with 1-0 Real Madrid. Frankfurt and Liverpool. The return of Ekitike. I do think Frankfurt are it's probably the worst Frankfurt team that we've had around the last 7 years. I think they score because German teams at home are just good for that, aren't they? I can see maybe Liverpool slipping up a wee bit, having a wee draw there. Atalanta, yeah, let's just say they do 2-0 on Slavia. Lisbon, 2-2 with Marseille. Monaco, I think we'll lose to Tottenham. And then we got into match day 4, the halfway point. Slavia Prague, I guess they're going to score at home to Arsenal, aren't they? But Arsenal probably win it 3-1. Napoli take that game 2-1. And then, wow, PSG versus Bayern Munich. We have got some serious clash of the Titans in this year's Champions League. Bayern will be more conservative. PSG will not care for that. We'll go with 2-2. Liverpool, Real Madrid next. Wow. Trent returning. Oh, everything about it. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. Anfield under the lights makes a difference for me, I think. We'll go 2-1 win for Juventus. Atletico, 2-1 win at USG. I think I'd probably go 1-0 Tottenham Copenhagen. And Bodo, a 1-1 draw with Monaco. Olympiacos, lose to PSV. Qarabag, lose to Chelsea. Paphos, lose to Villarreal. Inter Milan beat Kairat. Man City Dortmund, that's a fun one. I'll go 3-2 to City. I think there'll be goals in that. And Bruges, I'll have them drawn with Barca. Benfica, I'd have them beating Leverkusen. I'd have Marseille beating Atalanta. I think I would do a draw Ajax Gala. And yeah, Newcastle beat Athletic Club for me. So we're past the halfway point. Let's have a little look at the table, how it would be sitting after 4 matches. Wow, so I've got Arsenal and City and Newcastle. I did give Newcastle a win against Barca on match day 1, right? Which might be generous. But halfway, that's a top 8, isn't it? PSV getting in there. All the English teams getting in there, in fact. Liverpool, Real Madrid, Napoli, Chelsea, PSG, Barca. It's going to be so tight. At this point in the tournament, I've got, Leverkusen, Frankfurt, Monaco. Some of these teams, surprisingly, in no man's land. Bodo will be doing good this year. Yeah, this is interesting so far. So I think this is important for a wee bit of context, because halfway through the tournament, some people might need to buck up their ideas. And the final 2 games are in January. So after that, some teams will have Christmas breaks and all that kind of stuff. Now, you can sign players in January, as you know, but you can't register them for the Champions League squad. Ajax Benfica. I think the Benfica squad is better than the Ajax squad. So I'd probably give Benfica a 2-1 win there. Galatasaray, if they're flying high, home at USG. I'd probably give that to them. Chelsea, Barca. See, I think Chelsea could score a goal or 2 against Barca, but the Chelsea defence is so leaky. I'm going to go for 4-2 Barca. Dortmund, Villarreal, I think feels like a kind of a 2-1 to Dortmund. City do the business over Leverkusen. Bodo, Juve. I'm giving Bodo a win there. I am doing it. Bodo to win. Marseille, I think they're going to beat Newcastle. Let's give it as a 2-1. Prague, draw with Club, I'm going to say. Napoli, home to Qarabag, we'll give that as a 2-0. Paphos, home to Monaco. Monaco are going to win that. Copenhagen, home to Kairat, I guess they'll get the win. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. This is exactly what UEFA want with this competition, is every match day there is an absolute slobber knocker of a tie somewhere, isn't there? Harry Kane. Oh, I don't know what to think about this. I don't think Arsenal are going to win. I'm going to go with Bayern to win it 2-1. Olympiacos, again, I think they'll lose to Real Madrid 2-1. Atletico Madrid, the Simeone derby against Inter Milan. I'll give Atleti the win 1-0. Liverpool do the business with PSV. PSG, I'm going to say rip Tottenham open. And let's give Frankfurt the win over Atalanta. Oh, and Bruges, Sporting Lisbon. I'm going to put that as a draw. Kyra at home to Olympiacos. Make that a draw. Bayern, I'm going to give them a 2-1 win over Lisbon. Again, this is Christmas time. I'm thinking there might be a wee slip or two, maybe a wee bit more fatigue, a wee bit more heavy muscles, heavy legs, kind of setting in. Atalanta will fly for it. Let's see if they can get a win over Chelsea. I think Liverpool win in the San Siro. I think Barca just about get by Frankfurt. Let's say it's a draw for PSV. Atleti. USG Marseille. I'm probably happy to put that as a draw as well. I think USG at home, if they're going to get points, that'll be where they get them. Tottenham taking on Prague. We'll give them a win there. Monaco Galatasaray. I think we'll give that a draw. I think we'll give Villarreal a win there. Ajax a win away. And then Real Madrid against Man City. It's going to be really hard to... I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to look at the table just yet because we've just looked at the halfway point. But some of these big teams are playing each other a lot, man. Real Madrid City, it's going to be a 3-2 to someone. I'm going to give it to City. 2-0 Dortmund at home to Bodo. Athletic Club. I say they score, but they lose to PSG. I don't think I've got Leverkusen getting points anywhere, so I'm just going to imagine that Leverkusen squeak by Newcastle here. Bruges, I'm going to lose to Arsenal. Benfica, Napoli. I'm going to give Napoli the edge there, and then Juve. Let's just say they smash Paphos and sit at home. Now we're into the penultimate match, okay? Now, let's take a wee bit of stock, because you need to know who's fighting for stuff, who's right on the bubble. Yeah, Leverkusen, Bruges, USG, all of those kind of would-be teams, as well as Atalanta, Monaco, Inter, probably the big boys in here, Bodo, Juve, Chelsea, Benfica, and that clutch of make sure they stay in that band. The top 8 looks quite solid, doesn't it? Real Madrid, Newcastle, Spurs, Galatasaray right on the heels of it. I wonder if there's any 6-pointers here. Newcastle, PSV. I think it's a bit of a 6-pointer maybe. Kyra, Bruges. Let's just say Bruges take that 1-0. Bodo against Man City. Do you know, I'm going to say that Bodo gets something out of that. Real Madrid, Monaco. Let's give that to Real Madrid. Inter, I think, lose to Arsenal. Tottenham, I think, lose to Dortmund. I think PSG win at Sporting. Olympiacos, Leverkusen draw. Villarreal, Ajax, I'm going to go draw. Copenhagen, Napoli draw. Wow, I'm going for a few draws here. Frankfurt, Qarabag. Galatasaray, yeah, I think that's a draw as well, by the way. Then we've got Bayern Munich, USG. I think they're going to do the job there. Chelsea, let's just go for 6 on that. Marseille, Liverpool. I'm going to go for Liverpool to win that. Let's say 3-1. Barca to win 3-1. Atalanta to win 2-1. Juve to lose to Benfica. And let's say Newcastle to beat PSV. And that takes us on to the final match day. Now let's have a look at the table, see what's going on here. Bayern Munich cruising. Man City cruising. Liverpool, Arsenal, PSG, Barca, Dortmund, Napoli all look to be cruising. Real Madrid are going to be raging if they don't get into that top 8. Newcastle, I fancy to have a good tournament. Chelsea, the same. There's a lot of runners and riders here, a lot of tight margins. Inter Milan on the bubble. 6 points, Jesus. Final game. Let's see. Right, so PSV, Bayern. Bayern are in cruise control. What are PSV up to? Yeah, they're all right as well. Bayern probably just finished strong, don't they? Let's give it as a wee 3-1. Napoli, Chelsea. Napoli really on the bubble. Chelsea, 6-pointer there. Oh. Napoli Stadium, end of January. Yeah, I think Napoli will have too much for them. Benfica, Real Madrid. Real Madrid's right on the bubble, but where are Benfica? Well, they're not doing too bad. They're probably content enough with that position. And I think Real Madrid will Real Madrid their way through that. Dortmund versus Inter. Dortmund on the bubble. Inter are on the bubble as well at the bottom end. Yeah, are Inter at home? No, they're not. We'll go for that as a draw. I think that'll get the better of Inter. Liverpool are home and hosed, aren't they? They're taking on Qarabag, who are dead and buried. So let's just imagine that's a rotation and exhibition effort. Barca at home to Copenhagen. I'm just going to go with 2-0. Are Copenhagen in amongst it? And I've just killed them there maybe, but yeah, they are. Barca. Yeah, they're not guaranteed anything. I think, yeah, at the new camp, they'll be fine. City, Galatasaray. Now, City don't have anything to play for. Galatasaray, they don't really either, do they? Let's just say that's a wee boring draw, 1-1. Both teams get nothing to play for. And then we're looking at Leverkusen, Villarreal. Leverkusen could rescue it. Villarreal are on the bubble. Oh, that's a 6-pointer. That is a big 6-pointer. I think Leverkusen have more goals in them, is ultimately where I land on that. Arsenal, Kairat. Arsenal are cruising. Kairat are dead and buried, aren't they? Kairat on 4 points, by the way. Well done to them. But yeah, I think Arsenal put a show on for their fans. There'll be a lot of rotation, though. 2-0. USG, Atalanta. Where are USG? Am I tripping? Where are USG? There's a USG there. Yeah. They can still make it. Atalanta on 9. Jesus. I gave them more points than I thought I would have. Yeah, let's go with USG to win this. Let's say 2-1. Bruges and Marseille. Bruges on the bubble. Marseille a bit higher up. Bruges are at home. I'm going to give Bruges the win there. Frankfurt at home to Tottenham. Tottenham are in amongst it. Frankfurt on the bubble. Frankfurt will really throw the kitchen sink at it. I'm going to say they win that 3-2. Monaco, Juve. I don't think that's a game I'm particularly... Yeah, Monaco on the bubble. Juve. I would give that as a Monaco win. I really am not impressed with Juve at the moment. Let's just go with a 1-0. Atletico are not in the top 8. Quite comfortably in the top section, as are Bodo. Let's go with a 1-0 there for Athletic. Athletic Club, are they fighting for anything? Yeah, they could be. And they take on who again? Sporting. Oh, that is a 6-pointer. If one of them is going to make it, it's a straight fight between the two of them. I would maybe go Athletic Club to win that 2-1. Ajax are on the bubble. Olympiacos on the bubble as well. Another big 6-pointer. We'll go with that to draw. PSG Newcastle. Now, this is a repeat of last time Newcastle were in the competition. If this is the way it goes, they'll be pushing for top 8. PSG, well, they could lose it, I suppose. Nick Pope played brilliantly last time. It's a long way away from now. I'm going to go for that to draw. And then, Paphos against Slavia. I'm going to go with Slavia to win. Boom. So there we go, guys. This is how I'm going to have the Champions League group stage predictions. We've got the top 8. Real Madrid just sneak in, but we've got Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Barca, Napoli, PSG, Real Madrid making up the top 8. Those that go into the playoff round, we're looking at everyone from Frankfurt to Dortmund here. And it's a nice list. And by the way, what a spectrum of teams. Norwegian, Dutch, French, Belgian, Portuguese, Turkish, English, Spanish, German, Italian. That's what the Champions League's all about, everyone, isn't it? That is really cool. And then eliminated, do we have any shocks? Leverkusen, Inter Milan is the shock there, isn't it? And then some of these other teams like Sporting, Copenhagen, Villarreal and whatever, Leverkusen are nearly Rans. Don't mind that. What a tough competition it's going to be this year, guys. What a tough competition. And it all starts tonight. So we'll go back to match day 1. These are the score predictions for tonight. And I'm rather optimistic for it. Not really get much on it beyond fantasy football efforts, but I thought I did this last year. The video did quite well. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. And I thought for the channel today, it may be a bit more fun to do it live. So thanks to everyone that did tune in live. There's been a bunch of these coming and going. We've been on Twitch and on YouTube. So thanks to everyone that did tune in. And if you're watching this after we've been live, of course, let me know what you think I've got wrong here. Let me know what you think the Champions League group stage is going to flesh out to be. Who are going to be the main runners and riders? Who will get promoted? Who will be the shock elimination? Who could be the dark horse? I think I've got Bodo as somewhat of a dark horse. You might even say Newcastle, by the way, as well, because I think Newcastle are well built for this. They've got good experience. They've had a Champions League campaign, a lot of the squad in not too recent times, and they all seem to be on the same hymn sheet. So yeah, maybe Newcastle, the dark horses of the group stage, alongside maybe a Napoli, depending on how they get some of their points. Best defence in the tournament, it's maybe somebody like an Arsenal. Top scorers, Bayern. I think we could all agree with that. Barca not too far behind, same with PSG. Yeah, love it, guys. Looking forward to it tonight. Yeah, if you're watching the games, let me know. Let me know your score predictions for match day 1, as well as anything else you're going to get up to with the Champions League football this midweek. I just wanted to get the first live stream out here on the channel. Thanks to everyone that does support the channel and all the content we do here. The last couple of days of last week, my schedule has been all over the place, and we have lost the transfer window as like a subject matter for content. So we're getting into more tactical analysis, pre-match, post-match, etc. So thoughts, feelings, suggestions on everything and anything, let it be known. Thanks again for all the support on the channel. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Fist bumps to you all. Enjoy the Champions League. And yeah, stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's terrible.